After what most thought would be his final professional MMA bout against Paulo Costa in August of last year, longtime veteran Luke Rockhold has announced that he is looking forward to competing once again, now that the UFC has officially released the former middleweight champion. Speaking on the MMA Hour this morning, Luke said, "Your man's a free agent, free and clear. I'm ready and re-inspired to get out there and do something new. I need a new setting. I need a new challenge. You get burned out in the game when you've done so much, and you need new obstacles. I want to go and F some people up. I want to go and change and correct this BS that's going on out there. And I think there's other companies, of course. There's PFL. Peter Murray, I think he's a smart, sharp dude. They're doing some cool things where the best fight the best. People aren't jumping each other. This jumping, all this BS. Let's keep the BS the BS. If you want to go BS, we can box and beat up these BS effing YouTubers too. I think there's opportunities there. I'm just finding my rhythm in the boxing and my legs can take a little break every once in a while. I'd like to put some hands on some people and I'd like to invest in some other fights." Whilst it is good to hear that the UFC veteran is feeling positive about his future, it's slightly worrying given his recent run of tough KO losses against the likes of Yoel Romero and Jan Blachowicz, along with his age. He is apparently currently targeting a fight within the next 4 months. He even went as far to say he would box Costa, but talked down any possibility of that fight being made, saying that Costa doesn't want that. Where do you think Rockhold goes next, and when do you think he should call time on his career? Bantamweight contender Sean O'Malley is making headlines today for being turned away from a restaurant for violating the dress code. This may be unsurprising for fans given O'Malley's penchant for wild hair colorings during fights and number of tattoos. Speaking in a video posted online, the visually annoyed bantamweight said, "I went to Ocean 44 right across the street and I walk in looking good as F like I usually do," O'Malley said. They go, "Sir, we can't serve you. We have a dress code." I said, "B, do you know who the F I am?" I didn't say that. So we came across the street to Toca Madeira and they're hooking us up with free food because they know who the F I am. So F you, Ocean 44. The bantamweight contender is currently on a 4-fight winning streak and the rumours are circulating that he might fight for an interim bantamweight title against the likes of Henry Cejudo or Marlon Vera, while current champ Aljamain Sterling is sitting out with a torn bicep. Gilbert Burns has made a massive statement with his first-round submission of the ever-tough Neil Magny at UFC 283. The fight never looked in question, with the Brazilian going back to the well of his grappling and jiu-jitsu expertise after opting to just throw hands in his last fight with Khamzat Chimaev. Perhaps the biggest statement was when he was actually on the mic at the post-fight press conference, however, as he called for the UFC to pair him off with Colby Covington as the next Ultimate Fighter coaches. Speaking at the press conference, Burns said, "Whenever the UFC asked me to fight on short notice, I never said no. I've heard they will do another Ultimate Fighter, and I hope they give me the opportunity to headline it against Colby Covington. But I'm also available to be the reserve fighter of Leon Edwards vs Kamaru Usman at UFC 286 in London. And if they want to put me against Bilal Muhammad in London, I'm ready. I just want to be really active this year." The talk didn't stop there though, as the fighter took to Twitter with an edited photo showing he and Covington with the tough branding to further stoke the flames of a potential future matchup. After fighting only once in 2022 against Khamzat Chimaev in a runner-up for Fight of the Year, Burns stated that he would like to be more active this year and will do whatever it takes to get back into title contention. He has certainly had the fairy tale beginning to his year. How do you see the rest of 2023 panning out for the Brazilian fan favourite? Charles Oliveira is calling his shot to get back to the lightweight belt. The former UFC lightweight champion is looking to get back in the octagon in May and wants an opponent big enough, one that gets him back into the cage fighting for the belt before the end of 2023. During a Q&A with fans prior to the UFC 283 ceremonial weigh-ins Friday in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Oliveira said, "We have to aim high, maybe fight in the United States in May and then come back to fighting in Brazil by the end of the year. If it's in Sao Paulo, even better. And who knows, maybe fight for the belt again. That would be great. With all due respect, I had 10 minutes off on a bad night. I wouldn't change anything to fight Islam Makhachev. This fight will happen again. Be sure of that. This fight will happen. I'll fight in April or May, no matter who that is. And God will bless me with a win, and I'll have my rematch with Islam Makhachev by the end of the year. After what seemed like an unstoppable run for the Brazilian, some fans were left shocked after seeing him go down seemingly quite easily against Islam Makhachev. His 11-fight win streak was brought to a close in the matchup, and he now wishes to right that wrong before the year closes out. How do you see a rematch going between the two dominant lightweights? Let me know below. That wraps up another week of MMA news. Thanks for watching Undisputed MMA. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to keep up to date with the latest news in the MMA and UFC space.